Hey guys, it's Michelle from Michelle's Garden. I'm out here today. I'm getting ready to pick some tomatoes or cherry tomatoes. These are black cherry tomatoes. These have the absolute best flavor of any cherry tomato I've tasted. They have the flavor of like a big slicer tomato to me. I really like these the best out of all of them. And I'm going to dehydrate some of these today. So I'm out here in the garden picking some of them. If you're new to my channel, it's Michelle's Garden. My name's Michelle. I'm out here in North Carolina, Western North Carolina, Zone 7B, and it's a little bit hot today. It's close to 90 degrees with the heat index, and it's probably going to be close to 100 with the heat index. Before the day's over with. We're expecting some storms today, but look, I got my little trick-or-treat bowl to put my tomatoes in. There's a few things that I've been checking out in the garden that I've never grown before, and some people have told me that I need to check on them. Just because they're green and the vines aren't dying back doesn't mean that they're not ready, like sweet potatoes and peanuts. You know, I've been waiting for like the green to die back on them, thinking that's how you pick them, but sweet potatoes are not the same as potatoes. So I haven't checked those yet, but I did check my peanuts, and I have a few in the bowl. Check that out. That is so awesome. I've never grown peanuts before, and I just tugged on the vine. I'll show you what they look like right quick. Even though my video is about cherry tomatoes, I'm going to show you what these look like, because I'm just so excited about growing something new and seeing what they look like. Let me show you. Check that out. That is just a square little raised bed like that over there with the tomatoes in it, and it has just completely outgrown. Jeff's mowing the yard. I hope you guys can still hear me. But it has completely outgrown that square raised bed. But that's just so exciting to me. I like growing something I've never grown before and see how it comes out, just to see how things grow. So I'm going to get busy picking these. There's a ton of sweat bees out here. I'm going to show you this cherry tomato vine, because this is, let's see, I think it's two plants, and they're heirloom plants, and they way outgrow the cattle panel that I've got them on. But let me show you what they look like. Check them things out. Oh, they are like so bushy and so tall. We've had quite a few thunderstorms, pretty intense wind, and then during the day some pretty intense heat, and it has knocked these things over along with all of my other tomato plants. And I've got tons of tomato plants out here. You can see those tomatoes laying on the ground. So I've got tomatoes to pick. I've got a lot to do out here, a lot to get busy on, but today it's going to be dehydrating cherry tomatoes. So I'm going to pick these, and we'll go in the house and I'll show you what I do. Hey everybody, I'm back in the house now, getting ready to dehydrate these tomatoes. As you can see, I changed my shirt. I picked a couple of cantaloupes when I was out there, and one of them dripped juice all down my arm and all over my shirt. Let me show you what these cantaloupes look like. They're pretty good. Check that out. I can't believe that I grew such pretty cantaloupes. I've probably gotten about maybe 10 cantaloupes out of my garden so far, and the plants are starting to die back a little. I don't know. It's sort of like if you've ever planted cucumber plants, and you know how, I think they call it powdery mildew, takes over the leaves and they start turning yellow, and once one or two of the leaves get it, it spreads the entire plant. Well, that's kind of what's happening to my cantaloupes. Jeff's out in the front yard mowing grass. I came in the house because he was mowing out back. Now he's mowing out front. But I've got some cantaloupe seeds. I didn't plant them this year. I ordered them after I had already planted my cantaloupes, but they're supposed to be disease resistant. So I'm looking forward to growing that next year and seeing how that turns out. But those turned out good. We've eaten them. I've sold some. I've given some away. They turned out really good. Okay, let me show you my bowl of cherry tomatoes that we're going to dehydrate. Check that out. Trick or treat. And that's not even all that was on the vine, guys. I mean, these are some really good looking cherry tomatoes. I washed all of them. I've got my cutting board out here. This is my dehydrator. It has 6 trays. I'm going to fill all those up, and then I will show you what that looks like and tell you how long that I dehydrate them, show you the temperature, and I'll show you the finished product, and I'll tell you a little bit about what I use them for. Okay guys, I'm down to my last tray here, and I'm going to show you how I'm slicing these. You see, this is the center where I pick it off of the vine, and I just slice it right down the middle. I don't core these or anything. Just slice it right in half and load these up on this tray, and I'll show you a little bit closer view of these loaded up on the tray right here in a minute. Can you guys see that I have a candle lit? I'm having a candlelight moment with my cherry tomatoes. Actually, when I came in and I cleaned up my cantaloupes, I cleaned my countertops and my sink, and I sprayed some Clorox cleanup, and I wanted to light the candle so that it's not too strong of a smell when Jeff comes in from mowing the grass. You know, I mean, smelling Clorox cleanup doesn't really smell all that great. I just like to sanitize my countertops, you know. I'm sure I'm not the only one. So I've got 6 trays here, almost completely full. I don't think it will use up all of these cherry tomatoes in this bowl, but I've knocked out quite a few. Now if I have, wow, that one fell all the way down the center. Are you kidding me? If I have any that feel too mushy, like they might be too ripe, I don't put them in here. I just kind of keep those out. These are a pretty good size cherry tomato too. Some of them are probably about the size of a quarter. But if you get a chance to grow these, black cherry is the name of them. I think I got them from Baker Creek. They are just so delicious. I think that if you like a cherry tomato, you'll think these have the most wonderful flavor. All right, so let me get you over here so you can see how this is looking. Okay, so here's the bowl. It's just about empty. And this is what they look like, all stacked up in there. Can you see them in the layers there? Looks good, huh? All right, so let me get the lid. Put the lid on that. Push the power button. And see, that reads, that says 8 hours there. Okay, so I can up the hours, and I will up the hours to 10 hours, and then it's got a temperature, and I'm going to run that to the highest temperature on here, and I'm going to let that run for 10 hours. So that will run for 10 hours, and then when it's done, I will probably turn it on and run it for another 2 hours, and then I'll check them. And you know, there might be some that will still need to run a little bit longer, but usually within 12 hours they're usually pretty good to go. It's just like, you know, you got so many different sizes. But let me show you what the finished product looks like. These are so cool. So this is what I have here. I put them in a mason jar. I've got like 3 jars right there. You know, I just pull them off the trays and fill them up as they dehydrate. Let me open this up and show you the inside. See what they look like in there. You know, and you don't do any kind. I don't know if you're familiar with dehydrating, but you don't do any kind of you know, water bathing, anything like that. It just goes in a jar, put a lid on it, put it up in your cabinet, and when you're making spaghetti sauce or some sauce for lasagna or some stew or anything like that, vegetable soup, that's what I put them in. Any kind of soups or stews, and they just really do really great. I mean, they taste so awesome and add so much flavor to your recipes. So I hope you guys will try that out and get you a dehydrator. I got this one from Amazon. I've got one of the older dehydrators, I think that's from probably the 90s. It's really big, round, it's really loud, sounds like a airplane taking off from the airport. This one is a whole lot quieter. You know, this one here will put a baby to sleep. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video today, and hope everybody has a great day. See you guys later.